Men, if you've thought about giving up on dating, good. You should give up. Give up the way you've been doing it. Here's how people think of dating or romance in today's Western society. We're all just bags of meat. Everyone is thinking with their animal brain. Visual and physical pleasure is the top of the mountain. We believe the pinnacle of human happiness or contentment is reached and kept with a BBL, flapjacks, a small waist, and Dairy Queens. Don't get me wrong. I'll be the first to tell you that physical attraction is very important and is a critical part of romance. You aren't a bad or shallow person for not wanting to date a bowling ball, but we've made the physical component the only component. Now, once a hookup happens, we make our exit and on to the next one before something human happens. We've been told that those things are a drag and a roadblock to your fun. And fun, after all, will give you long-term contentment. For the rest of us that haven't accepted that lie and continue on looking for something real and long-term, here's how that goes. You swipe for a week and you get a match. She takes 3 days to text back. When she does, it's one word. You carry the conversation. She agrees to meet, then flakes, or she shows up and she's already got 3 other guys she's sleeping with in her rotation. Apps promised you options. What they gave you is a slot machine that never pays out. More matches than ever, less connection than ever. Men are lonelier than they've ever been, and I'm not being dramatic. The data backs this up. More men in their 20s and 30s haven't been on a date in the last year than at any point in modern history. You feel it, I've felt it, most guys you know feel it. It's like being in a crowded room and nobody will look you in the eye. So how did we get here? Because this didn't just happen randomly. There are reasons. First, we started telling men that their masculinity is a cancer to society. Men accepted this lie and gave them what they wanted. Soft, agreeable, domesticated followers that bow to this new wave feminism. Even though they were told that kissing the ring would earn favor with the women of today, these men were and still are rejected by desirable women that will never respond romantically to men like this. I don't mention this to bash women. I actually blame men for this. We chose to conform. Men get this feedback and think to themselves, forget it, I can't win either way. The next step is to give up on meaningful relationships, turning to porn or a surface level, purely hookup dating culture. Second, social media sold women a fantasy. They scroll through other women's lives, the boss woman, the mom with the perfect husband, the girl traveling the world every weekend, and they want all of it. They want the career, the family, the freedom, the attention, the stability, the adventure, have their cake and eat it too. And look, I'm not here to bash anyone, but you can't have every lifestyle at the same time. Something gives. And what's giving right now is commitment. Third, because women don't want to close any options, they're using their 20s to chase careers. And listen, there's nothing wrong with a drive towards a career, but here's what nobody wants to say out loud. The years when a woman is most likely to attract a man and start a family, those are her 20s. She's spending those years betting that she could have it all later, but the math doesn't care about maybes. Nobody is nearly as attractive at 38 than they were at 20. So what you've got is a generation of women keeping their options open, which means they're not really open to you, not fully. You're not a priority, you're a possibility. And men are tired of being a possibility. We've touched on a few ways in which we've arrived at the current dating relationship landscape. Obviously, human beings are complex, and so are the collection of those humans that make up a society. So this video can't cover every domino that fell to get us here. It's just a 30,000 foot view. Now here's where most guys get this wrong. A lot of guys think the answer is to try harder, swipe more, message faster, be funnier. No. The answer isn't to play a broken game harder. It's to stop playing the broken game. Here's the solution and where we turn things around. The world sold you a lie. Dating apps. They're not designed to get you a girlfriend. They're designed to keep you swiping. You are the product, not the customer. Your attention is what they sell. The longer you stay on the app, the more money they make. They don't win when you find someone. They win when you don't. So step 1, get out in the real world. Not because it's some inspirational quote, but because that's where actual women are. Real women with real lives. Not a profile and 3 AI filtered photos. Step 2, stop bending the knee to the part of society that hates you. You have just as much reason to feel ashamed about being a masculine man as you do your height or eye color. Ignore the institutions and blue-haired people that were unsuccessful with their own romantic desires trying to prescribe to you what type of man to be. Healthy, beautiful women won't hate your masculinity, and in fact, won't have time for anything else. Step 3, be very mindful about where you meet women. You meet a woman at church, she's way more likely to value commitment, family, and faith. Those aren't small things. Those are the foundation. You meet a woman at the gym, she probably lives a disciplined life. She cares about her health. She's got healthy pursuits. That tells you something about how she likely approaches everything else. You're also likely to maintain physical attraction to her. You meet her at the bar or the club, you may get lucky and run into that one classy woman not doing the splits for whoever and was convinced by her friends to go for one night. But why not spend your time where the odds are much more in your favor? Where you find her tells you who she likely is before she ever says a word. Now, the other side of that coin. You need to watch for the red flags, because the wrong woman is worse than no woman. This applies to the wrong men making things miserable for good women as well, but I'm a dating coach for men, so my focus is helping them. Due to the reasons we established earlier about today's society, you have to be much more vigilant about watching out for these particular red flags than men did of the past. First, aggressive masculine energy in a woman. That's not strength, that's a warning sign. A woman who leads with arguing, who needs to win every conversation, who makes everything a debate, that's not a partner, that's an opponent. This isn't to be confused with masculine energy in a man. One comes from a natural place that isn't out to prove anything, and the other is an impression of someone they're not. The latter is a person unable to live in peace. I've had a lot of dating experiences, and I truly am grateful for every woman that I've shared time with along my path that led to me finding the most incredible wife a man could ever ask for. You'll never find me bashing any of those women, and I truly hope they're all doing amazing. But one thing I can tell you is that getting involved in relationships with combative women created the most difficult times of my life. This was just as much my fault because at the time, I brought a lot of bad behaviors to those relationships myself, which made things even more difficult. Although those relationships helped me learn what I'm looking for and develop as a man, please learn from me and not the hard way that those relationships will only get worse over time and will never breed a peaceful home. Women who like to argue, not disagree, not have a conversation, argue. That's not passion, guys. That's a person who needs conflict to feel alive. Second, a woman who puts her career above everything, above you, above family, above the relationship. She's told you her priority. Believe her. There is nothing morally wrong with her choosing to pursue a career above everything else. All the power to anybody who decides to do this. But that doesn't mean she's well suited for a man looking for a woman to love. Like we stated earlier, there are trade-offs in life, and when someone doesn't prioritize you, stop believing the lie that you won't find someone who does. Look, dating in 2026 is harder than it should be. I get it. No matter what you've done, I've probably been a much bigger dummy in my life. But the answer isn't to quit, it's to quit doing it wrong. Just to recap, 1, you're gonna pull your shoulders back, stand tall, and take back the mantle on being a man unashamed of himself. 2, delete Tinder and realize there's a world of women out there in the real world to discover. You don't need more matches, you need better moments. Real ones, in person, with women who actually value what you bring. 3, go to those places where you're likely to share interests and principles with the women there. 4, we're gonna do ourselves a huge favor and avoid those red flags we just mentioned. I'll dive into more red flags in a separate video. Those are all the time we have for in this one. If you want help building a plan that actually works for you, not just generic advice, book a free assessment call in the link in the description. We'll figure out where you're stuck and get you moving. I'm Coach Jake, and I'll see you in the next one.